Hi Aries, welcome to April. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. Getting ready to do your reading for April. So this month we have a full moon in Libra and we have a new moon in Taurus. The new moon in Taurus is going to be on the 22nd and the full moon in Libra will be on April 7th. And this is going to be kind of a crazy month because there's a lot of heavy energy aspecting these moons, which I'll get into later. But let's see what the cards say about love and relationships for the month of April for Aries, and anything else that might be important. What does Aries need to know for the month of April? What is coming up for Aries? What is coming up for Aries for the month of April? The Empress, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Star, the Magician, the Knight of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Chariot, the Nine of Wands. So we start out the month with the Empress. The Empress is a card of children, family, creative expression, abundance, and it could also be that you could be connecting with a Taurus or someone that's represented by the Empress. You might be thinking that you're looking for someone who is going to be like a mother to you or take care of you. You're needing nurturing in April. And the Knight of Swords, what's crossing you is the tendency, you might be dealing with someone, it could be you. This is a card of wanting to take action and wanting to do something spontaneous without even thinking. So I feel like many of you, especially with this Knight of Pentacles here, you might be dealing with an earth sign in April. The Knight of Swords energy is energy that's could be a little bit selfish, or someone who's like impatient and anxious. Like you might be going through feeling frustrated, like I can't take action, I can't do what I want to do. And don't do something that's going to jeopardize your security. You might feel like just doing something rash and unpredictable. On the other hand, you could be connecting with someone who is very nurturing, someone who's very stable, maybe not different than your energy. Your energy is more, I want to just go, let's do, I have no patience. And you might be dealing with someone who's a little bit more cautious, who's wanting things to go slower. I think there could be, because I'm seeing the Three of Swords here, there could be someone in your life that you had some type of separation. There was hurt involved, like this person was very hurt, because the Three of Swords is like a severing of ties. And you may want to reconnect. You might be thinking about reconnecting with someone or wanting to take action, because you have this Ace of Swords here in the recent past. It's like your warrior spirit has been activated and you're wanting to take action toward a goal or a dream. You have the Star here and the Magician. You can manifest something, but I feel that it's going to take a while to get off the ground. You may feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. The Star gives hope. So if you've been going through a difficult time, the star gives hope. It's not saying that your goal is not going to manifest, but you're going to have to give it more effort. And you may be wanting to make some kind of offer or proposal towards someone, but you're afraid of rejection. Maybe you're afraid of what has happened in the past, that this person will not be wanting to get together with you or something like that. Because the Three of Swords energy, usually this represents your environment, and it could represent the feelings of the person involved that you're involved with, and they're hurting, and they may not, they're cutting things out of their life, or they're not looking, it's not an energy of someone wanting to connect. I mean, you really have a lot of repairs that need to be made. Maybe in the past you've acted in a way that didn't take into consideration the other person's feelings, and so now, because they're hurting, they may not be willing to reconnect. You're going to have to really prove yourself to them. So with the magician is about communication, and it's about visualizing a positive outcome to manifest a goal or a dream. And the chariot here, the chariot has to do with focus and discipline. So you can't be scattering your energies in April. If you really want someone, you have to go for it, knowing that it's going to be a difficult battle. And that you may have to defend yourself, because you have the Nine of Wands here, which is about defending your position. And it's also a card of not giving up on a goal or a dream. Like if you feel like you've been struggling, you might be feeling like you're struggling and you're just wanting to take action, and someone from the past, something that you thought you were done with, comes back to be revisited. And the Nine of Wands energy, though, is saying not to give up, that you can reach your goal if you just give it some more effort, but you have you're dealing with someone who's got very hurt feelings. And it's not going to be an easy, like, oh, sure, come right in, you know. And you have to be truthful. Sometimes this Knight of Cups energy, you might be dealing with someone who's very romantic, who's very impressionable, and they just want the truth. So you have to be careful what you say to them, that they don't, because they might blow it out of proportion. This card sometimes comes up when someone has been gone for a long time, and you might be kind of waking up and realizing what's of value. Maybe you left a relationship thinking you wanted something else, and you were out, dating other people or seeing other people, and now you're realizing the value of security, family, home, being with someone who may not be as exciting, but is more stable. So you might be looking for that. This is a card of someone, like someone who wants to come home to someone that once loved them, and where they feel loved and wanted. But I'm not sure. It's going to be a battle, because there's a lot of pain here with the Three of Swords. There's a lot of hurt. So the person that you're dealing with is going to need a lot of nurturing and reassurance that you're serious. And I don't know that you are. You have to make sure that you're serious. The Chariot can also represent moving, travel. Maybe you're thinking about cutting away what's no longer working and moving to a new location. Sometimes the Chariot could represent taking a journey or moving, making a sudden decision about moving, because you feel that you won't be able to achieve your goals in your current situation. So you might be severing ties with people or relationships that were once good but are no longer working, and thinking about going back to this Empress energy. Whatever you're wanting to connect with in April, you're wanting to be connecting. You want love and nurturing. You want to feel that you're home, like a sense of home or a sense of connection to family. And you want to be with someone where you feel loved. So if you haven't been feeling that in a relationship, some of you might end a relationship because you want that. And maybe connecting, you may want to connect with someone that once felt like family or felt like home. So the star doesn't say no, but the star says that the battle, you still have the battle with this Nine of Wands. It's not going to be an easy path. But if you really want something, you're going to have to really zero in on it and be disciplined about it. You can't do half of an effort. You have to be 100%. It's like all or nothing. You have to be all in or don't even bother playing. You do have a lot of major arcana here, so this is a significant time where you can make or break a dream. So you can achieve a goal, but it may happen later on in the year. It may not happen now. You might feel that it's an uphill struggle for a while. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So full moon in Libra. This is happening in your relationship sector. So the moon's in your 7th house. Some of you could be ending a relationship at this time because you think, the truth is coming out. At full moons, truth comes out. You see the reality of a situation. And this full moon is squaring Jupiter and Pluto in your 10th house. So normally when Jupiter and Pluto are in your 10th house, this is a card of, it's a time of career success. Pluto and Jupiter, when they come together, they can represent wealth and achievements. Jupiter is a positive influence. Pluto, you can come into a position of power. Pluto can also mean a change in status. So some of you might even be committing to a relationship. You might be breaking up with something that's not working and then wanting to commit to something that is working. But Pluto usually represents major transformation. But because it's a square energy, there's tension and conflict. It's not an easy resolution. There's a lot of tension around it. Mars is trining Venus. So Mars is in your 11th house and it's trining Venus in your 3rd house. So while you might have some difficulties with career even, with Pluto, there could be some layoffs or maybe you're having to make difficult decisions about what's right for you. Because Pluto in the 10th house, it could be major transformations, major restructuring in your career. In any case, you kind of know at this full moon what you want. You're going to know what you want. And you're going to put energy toward getting it. And there could be a relationship, like a friendship, that you want to reconnect with. Either you're wanting to, a friendship could turn to love. It could come from your friends in your local area, like your neighborhood, someone that you know from in the neighborhood. But there's heavy energy connected to this friendship because Saturn is here. Saturn and Mars are coming together. So you have to be serious about it. You can't just be playing with it. Saturn in your 11th house, as it just moved into Aquarius, it's giving you a preview. It's only going to be in Aquarius for a couple of months. Then it's going to move back into Capricorn. But then next year, it will be in Aquarius for the next 2.5 years. So you're going to be evaluating all your relationships, all your friendships, and your goals. Because the 11th house represents, what do I want from life? What are my dreams? What are my goals? And you're going to see the reality. So some friendships may end. You may decide, some of these people that I thought were my friends are not really my friends. And Mars is going to, Mars usually rules taking action, severing ties. It rules surgery. It's a sword. This is Mars energy, this Ace of Swords. And Mars is your ruler. So you're going to be cutting out people and things that you decide are not really supporting your goals or your dreams. Now, you are going to have support from Venus in your third house. So there could be someone, a friend, that's there for you while you're going through this period of severing, getting rid of whatever is no longer serving you. At the same time, with this full moon, we have Mars squaring Uranus in your second house. So there could be some surprise developments when it comes to income. Uranus in the second house can sometimes mean your money situation is unstable. It's really Mars. Usually, it's a surprise development. So you might have some financial surprises in April. Maybe even like some shocks to your self-esteem at some point, especially if you're trying to connect with someone and they're not interested. It may be a blow to your self-esteem, or you might be feeling threatened. Your security might feel threatened at this full moon. So the advice is not to do anything rash, because that's what this card represents. Taking, doing something reactive, taking action without thinking it through. So don't be in a panic and do something that you might regret later. Because that Mars and Uranus energy, it's a hasty kind of energy. And so that's why they say sometimes Mars and Uranus, when they come together in a difficult aspect, it sometimes represents accidents. Because you're rushing around, you're not paying attention, and you're not paying attention to the detail. It doesn't have to be accidents, because it's not really involving your travel houses, but it can mean taking action without thinking it through that may hurt you financially down the road. So don't sever ties without giving it, think about who you're severing ties with and if this is a good idea or not. Don't just do something because of a reaction, because you may get triggered by something that happens in your career. You may think, oh, I just want to quit this job and, I'm going to go and work here and do this. Just give it some thought before you take action, because there's a lot of volatile energy around this new moon. You are going to see a lot of truths, though. And the truth will, you're going to know where you want to go. And you're going to see what you need to let go of, what you need to pursue. Just make sure that you're not reacting, that you're making decisions after careful consideration and thought. Don't just jump into something just because you're angry or because your buttons have been pushed. Sorry. Then we have the new moon in Taurus, and that's coming at the end of the month, and that's happening in your second house. So there could be a new opportunity that comes out of the blue that has to do with finances. You may have a new surprising developments with your money sector. Now, this new moon is squaring Saturn in the 11th house. So there could be, if you're connecting with, like, the 11th house is the money. You might feel that you might be connecting with people that are older. You might have friendships that are where you have a lot of obligations, and you may feel like your friends are holding you back, or your goals are changing because you're seeing the reality of what you've been striving for. Like maybe you've been working on a certain path, career path, and suddenly you realize this isn't what I want to do anymore. I want to do something else. Mercury is going to be sextiling Venus. So you could be talking to someone while all this like career tension is happening. There could be some kind of romance happening too. You just want to be careful that you're not idealizing someone, because you have Neptune in the 12th house and it's squaring Venus. So you may have this dream like, oh yeah, I can be with this person and it's going to be great. This person's really spiritual. With Neptune, you just never know, because Venus is squaring Neptune. So you might be idealizing about what you can achieve in a relationship, and it may not have anything to do with reality. However, when Mars is trining Venus, the sparks will be flying. So there could be some sparks flying in a friendship while all this career tension is happening. Maybe you feel like you need to make more money, and an opportunity comes up that allows you to make more money. But you have this Saturn energy in the 11th house, which is telling you to just make sure you know what you're getting into. You have to be serious about the groups you belong to, the friends you associate with, and choose the right connections. You might be deciding like, hey, I don't want to be just having superficial relationships. I want something that's serious, that's stable. So you might be looking for that type of friendship around this time. And Mercury is in your first house. It's squaring Jupiter and Pluto in your 10th house. So you want to watch how you're communicating. You don't want to, and if you're signing any contracts, just you might be coming across as very forceful, or you might be pushing your agenda. Because Pluto has to do with power and wielding power, and with Jupiter on Pluto, it may be expanding that. So maybe you're dealing with someone in a position of power who you feel is being kind of a bully. You could be dealing with that. And you have to choose your words carefully. Now with Mercury in Aries, you might blurt stuff out without thinking. Somebody pushes your buttons, you might say something. So you want to just be careful that you don't overreact in April. And Pluto is ruling your 10th house. It's been in Capricorn. It's bringing you the ability or you could find your dream job when Pluto is in your 10th house. You could find a position that brings you power, but you have to be careful not to abuse that power. Pluto will go retrograde at the end of April. So things are going to slow down, and you might be reevaluating your goals, your life goals, your career goals, as Pluto retrogrades. It will retrograde until October. Then it goes direct again. So during that 6-month period, you may feel that things in your career are kind of in limbo. Or you might be rethinking some of the goals and trying to get back on a better track, maybe a track that brings you more money. With Uranus in the 2nd house, that could involve technology, the internet, science, astrology even. But when Uranus is in your 2nd house, so if you're working for yourself, the money may come and go. It's like feast or famine. You might decide that you don't want to work for a company or a corporation. You want to work for yourself. And so you might be making plans to do that because you may feel oppressed in your job by people in power. You may feel like they're blocking you, or you just don't want to be under someone's thumb. You want to be on your own. So that could be a theme that's happening that starts to begin in April. And in the meantime, Mars and Venus is helping with relationships. It's trining Venus. But you want to make sure that whatever money-making ideas you have, because Venus rules love and money, and with Venus in the 3rd, you might be thinking of some type of communication project that's going to bring more money into your life. It's squaring Neptune, so you have to know who you are. Neptune's in the 12th house. There could be some, you might be self-sabotaging sometimes with Neptune in the 12th house. Or you may want to connect with someone who's very spiritual, or it's confusing energy when it's in the 12th. But Neptune is strong in the 12th because that's its home, and it's in Pisces. So you want to really take time out and meditate. It's a good time for meditation. It's a good time for any kind of psychological counseling to get at what are my real needs, because maybe you don't know. Your needs might be, maybe you've been focused on getting ahead, but you need more of a spiritual connection now. You need a job that is not just a job that pays money, but a job that connects you to a purpose that you can believe in. just make sure you're not idealizing or escaping. You might, because Neptune also rules escape. You don't want to be escaping your problems through relationship. So that's what I have for you in April, Aries. I feel like some relationships may come to completion, and you may feel like you want to make more of a commitment. Others you may feel like I need to sever ties because they're not giving me the stability that I want. And that could be relationships. It could also be in career. You might be making major changes in career because you need more security, you need more money, and you need to be doing something that you really believe in, that feeds your soul, not just your bank account. So that's what I've got for you for April. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and thank you everyone who's been supporting this channel. If you want a private reading, you can connect with me on my website. The link's in the description box. And everyone just be safe and stay healthy during this crisis that we're going through. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.